Hey guys, thanks for joining me on another episode. I'm here with Jean-Guy, a mortgage broker, local mortgage broker here in Central Alberta. And what we're hoping to do is collaborate once a month for you guys to listen in on what's happening in the mortgage world, and also kind of talk about stats and where things are locally, and hopefully just have a good conversation that is informative to the consumer that's watching. So Jean-Guy, who are you?
Name's Jean-Guy. I've been in mortgage world in Red Deer for 14 years. I've been with Regional Mortgage for the same amount of time and helped hundreds, almost over thousands of clients of obtain mortgages in the local area.
Yeah, it's been great working with you. You're always knowledgeable and very helpful with the buying process. I know it can be stressful, so
Thank you.
yeah, it's good. It's good. What? Let's get into it. Like, what's the current mortgage rate?
So you've got your insured mortgages and then your uninsured mortgages. So when they're insured, there's the better interest rates, and you can see. And I always provide a range because when you have a range, it provides you with a better idea, a more realistic view of what the world looks like.
Sure.
So I mean, I've heard there's 1.59 for a 5-year fixed, 164, 169. But again, it depends on your qualifications. I would say on average you're between a 169 and 1.99% on an insured mortgage,
Right.
depending on qualifications.
And again, for anybody listening, like that's an amazing.
Oh, these are historic lows. We've never ever seen these things.
Yeah.
So we used to say that when they were down to 2.2, 2.4, but they were around, it was like 6 or 7 or 60 to 70 years ago. But today there's nothing like that that's ever been available ever in the market.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just to give you an idea on how much equity you're building. So if you're paying $1,200 a month in rent,
Yeah.
all that rent you're never going to see back again. But on a $1,200 mortgage, only like $450 of that is interest, and the rest is yours. And people forget that when you have a mortgage payment, they're thinking that there's nothing left in it. But actually, if you look at your mortgage payment as two pieces, one's your savings and the other one is interest.
Yeah.
You're saving more money now than you ever have.
Yeah, you're paying $900 of that down
Is your
a
money.
month on that mortgage.
Absolutely.
That's pretty impressive.
It's historical, and it's exciting. I mean, people have been coming out in droves during the last few months.
Right.
We went through the beginning of COVID where there's some hesitation, but
Yeah.
with these low interest rates, they're almost half of where they were at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So literally there's $250 a month in savings,
Right.
just on, say, your average $300,000 mortgage.
Well, and that kind of brings me to the whole market and what's happened. If you compare first and second quarters, I mean, obviously the second quarter was damaging because of COVID.
Yeah.
First quarter basically looked like what last year was. There wasn't really, at least in on the real estate end of things, there wasn't really any extra activity, extra sales that was going, oh man, this could be the year that our market breaks. COVID hits, and then everything really shut off. Some of the sales are staggering how little but obviously it had to because we were shut down.
Yeah, of course.
But third quarter was super impressive. I mean, some of the markets, Red Deer, I think the average for the third quarter was 17% above last year's third
Wow.
quarter in sales, and maybe part of that drive is that interest rates. Maybe do you think maybe?
Absolutely. I think that there's two pieces of that puzzle. There was the pent-up demand from the people that were naturally going to buy in the spring,
Right.
in that second quarter, and then also interest rates helped
Right.
add the next level to that.
Sure.
And right now, that pent-up demand, we'd like to think that it's washed through. And a lot of the pre-approvals that I did between, say, even middle of April and middle of July, August, a
Yeah.
lot of them have taken action and have bought and gone into the market.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I've seen it, and I think average sale in Red Deer. Sorry, I'm just gonna grab my information because I like to have it out here. But so actives, like the amount of active listings and this is residential when I'm talking. I'm not talking just like everything or the whole entire market. I like to speak in residential or the detached property because it kind of gives a better average for me. I like to see that. Listing inventory is down pretty much 10%.
Wow.
And which is nice to see.
Yeah.
That's not really big numbers though when you think on the scale that we have. We don't. I mean, our demographics, in Red Deer's 100,000 people ish.
Okay.
So it's not exciting news, but it's
Yeah.
good to see that our listing inventory is down. There's a few less signs in the ground,
Yes.
right? And then solds, like I said, just in October alone, sales were up 13% year over year from October of last year to this year. So, and I do think that that's sort of still the following of the bubble that we had after COVID, right? In that area. So that's good. Lacombe, their market was a little bit quieter. It's unfortunate because we want to see those little smaller communities thrive too. I feel like a lot of people that I've dealt with, being in Sylvan Lake and working Central Alberta, I notice a lot of people transitioning into Red Deer.
Yeah.
Do you see that on the
Yes.
mortgage side too?
I do, and it really does depend on what they're looking for. If there's more in the major center and the families are converging on here,
Yeah.
then there's a lot more of that as well.
Yeah.
They're coming into the city.
Yeah, and then saying that, rec property sales, which I wouldn't mind talking to you about on mortgages and stuff too, but they were outstanding this year. Like
Yeah, no,
exceptional.
I know that they've exploded just because where else do you go?
Yeah, yeah.
You
Like,
can't leave the country. There's limited space camping.
right,
Hotels are mostly closed, so
Yeah.
let's put some money to work and
yeah.
get a second place with the entire family to go enjoy.
Yeah, I really saw that at Gull Lake, especially at Gull Lake. Gull Lake kind of has that lower price range
Yeah.
that's affordable.
Yeah.
You're still on the lake or close to the lake. You know, I look at one of the rec park subdivisions, Raymond Shores, and that subdivision in the last 6 months had 27 sales just in that subdivision. Last year it didn't have that many. It had like 19. The year before it had 15.
Yeah, I heard it's been extremely active.
Yeah, and then even like some of the, because I do work Gull Lake quite a bit, so even some of the more $300,000 to $500,000 range stuff that's actual well, a livable house even, not just a little leaky old cabin, but a actual livable property. Almost all that inventory that's been on the market for 2-3 years sold this year, which is again
Wow, that's
outstanding. Yeah, it is kind of interesting to see what COVID has changed the mindset of the consumer.
It certainly motivated more people to get off their wallets.
Right? Yeah, I do think that, which is good in a way because it helps our economy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, people realize it's just like, well, we don't know how long this is going to be here.
Right.
And we might as well enjoy the space that we can get
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a good investment in Central Alberta.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Long term, it's a great place to go and enjoy. And Gull Lake's a beautiful place.
Right. Yeah. Please subscribe and check out our social media platforms. They're all below. Hope you got something out of this. Thanks again, Johnny.
Thanks, Benny.
Yeah.
Have a great day, guys.
Take care.